I need to put in a ticket to IT. All right, Opus family. Sorry about that. 20 minutes. This streaming platform loves to kick me off at 20 minutes. So, TikTok doesn't kick me off. So we just keep going with it, right? Um, SharePoint, HR. All right. So back on track. Um, I get a gold star today because I remembered where we were at. Doesn't always happen. Um, but I have my notes in my OneNote, and I was able to look down and see where I'm at, and we can keep rolling. So, as HR rolls through the process, right? As you're looking at your HR system, and mind you, when I got into management and started hiring people, we did a lot of stuff by hand. I'd get a lot of resumes, but I didn't have a way to track them in a system digitally. I had to track them in a folder system. So I would put all the ones that I had called in a folder. Once they called me back and we scheduled an interview, they went in the second folder. You can do that digitally now, right? So we can add them to this list on SharePoint, and we can put them into the different categories, and we can track them through the process. And you can watch who's doing what. SharePoint will, with each individual login, it will allow you to track and see. Sorry, I'm getting a note on my Teams. See, Microsoft does wonderful things. It allows you to pick up each thing. So you can track that person through the process, right? Like you can track who's done what. SharePoint will track who's logged in and what changes were updated, and you'll be able to make that information. You'll be able to view that information. It will keep a log. This comes in really handy, FYI, for HR, when you need to track when a user has changed their information and know when they changed it if something ends up being incorrect. It's kind of that CYA that we all like to have. So, once you've decided on a candidate, right? Once we've got all the applicants and we've moved forward with and done our interviews and done our selections and we are ready to make an offer, you can, in SharePoint, very easily move them over. Tell SharePoint you made the offer. It can, if you would like, hold the information, right? It will hold the offer letter. It will hold all of the data that we've now got from this entire process. It will contain all that data within SharePoint in its list and in this employee's soon-to-be file. We can move them into onboarding. Once they go into onboarding, this is great. We can set it up on a flow that allows you to go through piece by piece of everything that your new employee is going to need. So we've created an offer letter. We've sent the offer letter over, and once that email is received, and we've sent it over with either DocuSign or Adobe Signature, which you can add into SharePoint. The new hire can sign it. They can then, it comes back to them. It goes into their file on SharePoint and is stored there. So now you've got a copy of that. That then can kick off your next step. So if you've got to do, a background check and maybe you have to do a driving record and you have to call references, and different people do different things, right? So if the hiring manager's got to call references and then IT needs to get them access and an email and a laptop, the system can be configured to do that automatically. So once the email comes back and we say that Ann Bootsy's been hired, then it will kick off the next stream of onboarding based on a position. So you can change it where there's different position categories. So we have an IT position, we have an HR position, we have a Salesforce position, we have all new hire category, and based on who we've hired for what, you can send them through a specific chain, and once that chain's completed, it will go on, and then all that information is stored. And now you've got one place for all of your employees, all of their information, all of their documentations. If they're doing, if you've got to do any kind of certifications, if you've got to do any kind of continuing education, they can upload those documents there, because you will have a full HR portal on your SharePoint site that is built out, and it will tell you. You can manage the policies there. So if we're writing a new work at home policy or a new overtime policy. Then you can collaborate with the other HR team members. You guys can determine once it's ready to go that it can be published. It will be sent out to everybody within that category. So if all employees get it, it goes into the all employees category. If it's only IT employees get it. So wherever they are, wherever your employees are at, can get those specific policies. They will essentially click an email saying that they read the new policy, and it will go in their file. And you're able to see when it got sent to them, when it was there. You can also determine the due date on it. So it's March 1st. If I sent a policy out today that needed to be signed by March 14th, I can set that due date. I'll do a reminder at 7 days. So March 7th, you're going to get a reminder. Hey, you haven't signed your policy. Go in, read it, and get it signed for us. And then once it's signed, they go on the list. Then you can track that data. So everything on SharePoint from your turnover and your HR perspective can be tracked as well. So if you're a small business and you're looking to build out your HR system, and your resources are your human resources, your employee resources, are a little on the lighter side, SharePoint might be a great option for you. If it's something you want to look at or something you want to talk further about, you are more than welcome to email me. My email is k.roe@opusmanagement.us. You can message us on any of our Opus Management social media or even on our website, so opusmanagement.us. Make sure you double check how you spell management, because I love to forget that E at the end of manage and mistype it all the time. It's kind of a running joke between my boss and myself, but utilize that. We'd love to hear from you guys. Follow us on any of our social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We'd love to hear what you guys are struggling with, what your small business needs, what you'd like to hear more of. I'm always open. We'll probably continue down the Microsoft. My goal is to continue down the Microsoft line this month, and we'll talk more about it hopefully next week on the live stream on all of our social medias. I can show you some of the great features in SharePoint, show you my OneNote. We can keep going on Microsoft with some tips and tricks. I didn't want to cover the basics. Everybody uses Word and Excel. I feel like you can kind of get those down. There's a ton of stuff you can do in Excel, which we may cover. It's just not my favorite. I'm much more on the OneNote, the Teams, the SharePoint side, the planner, and to do. Oh man, guys, if for a business, if you're not using the planner, it's definitely something you ought to check out. But feel free to reach out anytime. Let us know. Keep an eye out for more to come, and I will see everybody again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be here. Y'all have a great day, and have a wonderful rest of your